In the spotlight tonight is Frank Potter from the Wirral, an anaesthetist. His specialist subject is the history of the Second World War. Mary Willmot from Rhondda, a retired bank clerk. Hers is the films of Gregory Peck. David Green from Harrow, a civil servant, and his subject is the history of Plymouth Argyle Football Club. And Peter Biddlecombe from Buckinghamshire, a computer programmer whose subject is the instruments of the Symphony Orchestra. I'm John Humphreys and welcome to Mastermind. You will know the rules, I have no doubt. 2 minutes on a specialist subject chosen by the contender and 2 minutes on general knowledge. The clock is responsible for the pressure. The winner at the end of this contest goes through to the next round with the chance, of course, of the finals and the big prize, a glass bowl bearing the immortal title Mastermind. So let's have our first contender, please. And your name is?
Frank Potter.
Occupation?
Anaesthetist.
And your chosen subject?
The general history of the Second World War.
Second World War in 2 minutes, starting now. Which naval base in the Firth of Forth was the target of the Luftwaffe's first raid on Britain, launched on the 16th of October 1939?
Rosyth.
Correct. Sunk in the western approaches on the 17th of September 1939, which aircraft carrier was the Royal Navy's first serious loss of the war?
HMS Courageous.
Yes. Which wartime government slogan encouraged women to repair and alter garments rather than buy new ones?
Pass.
Fought in February 43, the battle for which mountain pass in Tunisia saw the first major confrontation between American and German troops?
Kasserine Pass.
Correct. After the sinking of 6 of its ships by Axis submarines, which South American country declared war on Germany and Italy on the 22nd of August 1942?
Brazil.
Yes. Which island was finally captured by the Americans on the 21st of June 45 after 82 days of fierce fighting?
Okinawa.
Correct. In which city did General Alfred Jodl sign the surrender of the German armed forces on the 7th of May 1945?
Reims.
Yes. Which country's troops captured Odessa from the Soviets in October 1941 and helped the Germans in the capture of Sebastopol in July 1942?
Romania.
Yes. Which Japanese vice admiral commanded the fleet from which the attack on Pearl Harbor was launched?
Nagumo.
Yes. In June 1944, in which French village were 642 people massacred by an SS detachment?
Pass.
Prior to making their Channel dash in February 42, in which port had the Scharnhorst, the Gneisenau and the Prinz Eugen been bottled up since the previous spring?
Brest.
Correct. Who was the commander of U-boat U-47 that sank the Royal Oak in October 1939?
Gunther Prine.
Yes. In April 1941, around 45,000 Allied troops were evacuated from which country during Operation Demon?
Greece.
Yes. Who replaced Wavell as CNC in the Middle East in July 41, but was himself replaced by Alexander the following year?
Auchinleck.
Yes. In which country did the right-wing Rexist movement led by Leon de Grelle advocate collaboration with the occupying Germans?
Belgium.
Yes. Outside which town on Lake Como did I've started so I shall finish, did Italian partisans capture Mussolini and his mistress in April 1945?
Donga. Correct.
You had 2 passes. The French village where 642 people were massacred by the SS was Oradour-sur-Glane. And the wartime government slogan that you couldn't bring to mind was make do and mend. 2 passes, Frank Potter. You have 14 points. Thank you. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Mary Willmot.
And your occupation?
Retired bank clerk.
And your chosen subject?
The films of Gregory Peck.
Gregory Peck. 2 minutes starting now. For which film did Peck receive his first Academy Award nomination?
The Keys of the Kingdom.
Yes. In the Paradine case, who played Madalena Paradine, who Peck, playing a barrister, defended in a murder trial?
Valley.
Yes. In Gentleman's Agreement, for which magazine did Peck's character work as an investigative journalist on an assignment about anti-Semitism?
Pass.
Going on to read the eulogy at Peck's funeral, who played Tom Robinson, the black man accused of rape in To Kill a Mockingbird?
Brock Peters.
Yes. Which was the first film for which Peck received a credit as producer?
The Big Country.
Yes, who was originally intended to be the director of the Guns of Navarone but was removed due to creative differences with the screenwriter Carl Foreman.
Pass.
The lead role in which film was turned down by Charlton Heston, Roy Scheider and William Holden before being accepted by Peck?
Pass.
Which of his roles did Peck describe as a human rattlesnake, a role he took so that people would never forget the horror associated with the character?
Joseph Mengele.
Yes. Which film in which Peck starred opposite Sophia Loren was based on Gordon Cotler's novel The Cipher?
Arabesque.
Yes. The Macumba Affair and The Snows of Kilimanjaro were both adapted from the works of Ernest Hemingway, who wrote the screenplays for both films.
Pass.
In which film did Peck play an elderly writer who became involved in Pancho Villa's revolutionary movement in Mexico in 1913?
Old Gringo.
Yes, in Spellbound, Peck's character suffered from amnesia. In which film, made over 20 years later, did he play another amnesia sufferer?
Pass.
In the original version of Cape Fear, Peck played lawyer Sam Bowden. What was the name of the character he played in the 1991 remake?
Lee Holden.
Lee Heller. In the western Yellow Sky, Peck's character, a villain called Stretch, referred to which American Indians as fine people if you understand them?
The Apaches.
Yes, in Other People's Money, which company owned by Peck's character was he trying to stop being taken over?
The New England Wire and Cable.
Yes. For which film did Peck carry out research by... I've started, so I shall finish. For which film did Peck carry out research by visiting advertising agencies on Madison Avenue and the offices of NBC Television in New York?
The Man in the Grey Flannel Suit.
It was indeed. You had 5 passes. Peck played another amnesia sufferer in Mirage. It was Casey Robinson who wrote the screenplay for both The Macumba Affair and The Snows of Kilimanjaro. The film everybody else turned down and Peck accepted was The Omen. It was Alexander McKendrick who was originally intended to be the director of Guns of Navarone, and in Gentleman's Agreement, the magazine was Smith's Weekly. You had 5 passes, Mary Willmot. You have 10 points. And our next contender, please. And your name?
David Green.
And your occupation?
Civil servant.
And your chosen subject?
The history of Plymouth Argyle Football Club.
Plymouth Argyle. 2 minutes starting now. Argyle Football Club was formed in 1886 when W. Petherbridge and which friend of his arranged a meeting in the Borough Arms?
Pass.
Argyle originally played in the Mount Gold area of Plymouth, but in which ground did they play home matches between 1898 and 1901?
Pass.
The record league attendance at Home Park of 43,596 was set in October 1936 in a Division 2 match against which opponents?
Aston Villa.
Yes, Paul Mariner, who went on to play for Ipswich and Arsenal and to win 35 England caps, was signed by Argyle from which non-league club?
Chorley.
Yes, on 26th of October 1953, the first set of floodlights at Home Park were officially turned on for a friendly match against which club?
Arsenal.
Exeter. In 1984, the year Argyle reached the semi-final of the FA Cup, who scored the goal in their 1-0 fifth-round victory over First Division West Brom?
Tommy Tyner.
Yes, in the 1920s, how many consecutive seasons did Argyle finish as runners-up in the Third Division South?
6.
Yes, which player born in London to a Jamaican father played 400 games for Argyle in the 1920s and 30s?
Jack Leslie.
Yes, later to score a famous historic goal, who was Argyle's inside right when they played their first ever league match, a 1-1 draw with Norwich City on the 28th of August 1920?
Sammy Black.
David Jack. During their tour in the spring of '63, in which country did Argyle play a friendly in front of a crowd of 100,000?
Poland.
Yes, Argyle's record win in the competition proper of the FA Cup was a 6-0 victory in the third round in 1966 against which Southern League club?
Corby Town.
Yes, Charlton Athletic beat Argyle 6-4 in a Division 2 fixture played on Boxing Day 1960. What was the result when the two clubs met in the return fixture played on the following day?
That was also 6-4.
It was. Argyle's first ever win as a professional club was a 1-0 victory at West Ham in 1903. Which Scotsman scored the goal?
Preddy.
Peddy. Under whose managership did Argyle win promotion to Division 2 in the 1974-75 season?
Tony Waiters.
Yes, which Brazilian club, including the legendary Pelé, was beaten I've started, so I'll finish. Which Brazilian club, including Pelé, was beaten 3-2 in a friendly at Home Park in March 1973?
Santos.
It was Santos. You had 2 passes. It was Marsh Mills in which they played their home matches between 1898 and 1901, and the club was formed in 1886 when W. Petherbridge met Howard Gross. You had those 2 passes. You have a total of 10 points. And our final contender, please. And your name is?
Peter Biddlecombe.
Occupation?
Computer programmer.
And your chosen subject?
The instruments of the Symphony Orchestra.
In 2 minutes, starting now, which is the only instrument in the modern orchestral string section to have its strings tuned in fourths?
The double bass.
Correct. The standard modern double horn is pitched on F, and on which other note?
B flat.
Yes, in Italy the term is sul tasto, in France sur la touche, and in Germany am Griffbrett. Where do these instruct the violinist to play?
Near the fingerboard.
Yes, the lower register of the clarinet is sometimes described by the name of which other related instrument?
Chalumeau.
Yes, in which of his works did Berlioz include 4 brass sections placed at the 4 corners of the orchestra?
The Grande Messe des Morts.
Yes, what is the correct name for the brass mute, sometimes called a wah-wah mute, whose tone colour can be varied by manipulating the central stem and opening?
Harmon.
Yes, for what purpose might a bassoon player carry a small cardboard tube similar to the central cord of a toilet roll?
For playing a low A instead of a B flat.
Yes. Which family of instrument makers, originally from Germany, established itself in Paris in the early 19th century and is particularly associated with the development of the oboe?
Pass.
Which curious technique is employed in the playing of one of the trumpets in Messiaen's Des Canons aux Étoiles?
Hand stopping.
Playing on the mouthpiece only. What is the most commonly used sign for indicating left-hand pizzicato to string players?
Pass.
What is the preferred type of wood used in making the bars of a marimba?
Rosewood.
Yes. Which unpitched percussion instrument is given a prominent part involving a partly improvised cadenza during the first movement of Carl Nielsen's Symphony No. 5?
The snare drum.
Yes. Which instrument is used in an unusually high register to open Stravinsky's Rite of Spring?
The bassoon.
Yes. Which composer demonstrated the art of orchestration with examples from his own works relating to each standard instrumental family?
Rimsky-Korsakov.
Yes. Hornborstel and Sachs' original 4 categories of musical instrument are membranophones, aerophones, chordophones, and which other kind?
Pass.
Which percussion instrument did Richard Wagner employ in a chorus of 18? I'll finish the question. In a chorus of 18 during scene 2 of Das Rheingold.
The anvil.
It was indeed. You had 3 passes there. It was the idiophones, in addition to all those other phones, membrophones and all that. The most commonly used sign to indicate pizzicato to string players, left-hand pizzicato, a plus sign. And the family of instrument makers we were looking for was the Triebert family. So, those 3 passes, Peter Biddlecombe, you've scored 12 points. And that brings us to the end of our first round on specialist subjects, so let's have a look at the scores at this stage. In joint 3rd place, both with 10 points, are Mary Willmot and David Green. In 2nd place, with 12 points, Peter Biddlecombe. In the lead, 14 points, close contest, Frank Potter. So, on to round 2 now, general knowledge, and if there is a tie at the end of this round, then the number of passes will be taken into account, and the contender with the fewest number of passes will be declared the winner. If there's still a tie on points, then there will be a 5-question playoff. So, on with the general knowledge round, and let me first ask Mary Willmot to join us again, if she would, please. And I must congratulate you on your choice of subject, for which you got 10 points. The great Gregory Peck, starring role in To Kill a Mockingbird. Great book. My choice for the big read.
My favourite book too.
And your... Oh,
And I'm
well,
not
there
just
we are.
saying
And
that.
you come from South Wales, so everything
Of
is
course.
perfect. Absolutely, yeah. So I hope you win, but don't... Well, he was an extraordinary guy, Gregory Peck, wasn't he? More than
Oh,
just
yes.
a great film actor.
Oh, yes. He was tall, dark and handsome, a good actor and a very good person. I liked his political views. He's very liberal.
He was very liberal, wasn't he? When it wasn't particularly helpful to your career to be liberal.
Yes, he stood up against the McCarthyism and all that. Yeah.
Well, you scored 10 points with your knowledge of Gregory Peck. Let's try general knowledge now. 2 minutes. Who in 1992 was appointed the first female Director General of MI5?
Stella Remington.
Yes. Which television chef's first name was included in the 2001 edition of the Collins English Dictionary after publishers found it had passed into everyday use?
Jamie.
Delia Smith. What is the principal protein found in blood plasma?
C. No. C.
No, albumin. Which boy's name is thought to come from the Hebrew for man or earth?
Emmanuel.
Adam. Which artist who lived from 1864 to 1901 is particularly remembered for his illustration of the bohemian life of Montmartre?
Toulouse-Lautrec.
Yes. What did the B stand for in the name of the American President Lyndon B. Johnson?
Baines.
Yes. Which American hurdler remained undefeated for 9 years, 9 months and 9 days in 122 consecutive races between 1977 and 1987?
Carl Lewis.
Ed Moses. On the Mohs scale of the hardness of minerals, which gemstone has the highest value of 10?
Diamond.
Yes. Which writer's last novel, A Passage to India, was published in 1924, although he lived on until 1970 and continued with other literary activities?
Ian Forster.
Yes. Which city in southern Afghanistan do the Taliban regard as their spiritual home?
Pass.
In the novel by George Eliot, Dorlcote Mill stands on which river?
The Floss.
Yes. Which Dutch city was the scene of an unsuccessful attempt by British and Polish airborne troops to secure the Rhine bridges in September 1944?
Arnhem.
Yes. Which French word is used for the unravelling of a plot or story?
Denouement.
Yes. Parsley, common tree marsh, common and edible are European species of which amphibian?
Frog.
Yes. Which planet has a year equal to 687 Earth days and is on average 142 million miles from the sun?
Mars.
Yes. Ivanov, first performed in 1887, was the first full-length play by which writer?
Peter Ustinov.
Anton Chekhov. You passed on one question. The city in southern Afghanistan that the Taliban regard as their spiritual home is Kandahar. You had 10 points, Mary Willmot. You now have 20 points. And now David Green, if you join us, please. Plymouth Argyle got
Yes.
you 10 points, but it's never been a very successful club, in truth, has
No,
it?
never been in the top division.
You had a somewhat, well, I don't know why I should say this, unlikely famous supporter,
Michael Foot.
Michael Foot. And he was described as?
Described as?
Ah.
Well, he's our best left winger, I suppose, but...
Hasn't done you a lot of good, though, has
No.
he? 10 points you got on Plymouth Argyle. Let's try you on general knowledge. 2 minutes starting now. What was the nationality of the painter Edvard Munch, whose painting The Scream was stolen from the gallery in 1994?
Norwegian.
Correct. At the 2004 ceremony, which epic became the first fantasy film to win the Best Film Oscar?
Pass.
Which term referring to the most basic flavour of ice cream is sometimes used to refer to any system without special or extra features, especially a computer system?
Vanilla.
Yes. Named after a viceroy of New Spain, which is the largest city in the American state of New Mexico?
Santa Fe.
Albuquerque. Who in 1953 became the first British driver to win a World Championship Grand Prix?
Surtees.
Mike Hawthorne. In crime fiction, Ian Rankin's Inspector Rebus is based primarily in which Scottish city?
Edinburgh.
Yes. Which ancient common law writ confirmed by Act of Parliament in 1679 effectively made it illegal to imprison a person without a trial?
Habeas corpus.
Yes. Which pop star presented the 2001 Turner Prize to Martin Creed for his installation that switched a light on and off in an empty room?
Madonna.
Yes. What was the name of the publishing firm set up by Leonard and Virginia Woolf in 1917?
Bloomsbury Press.
The Hogarth Press. In World War II, Operation Barbarossa was the code name for the German invasion of which country?
Poland.
Soviet Union. Usually built beside or attached to a church, what is a campanile?
It's a bell tower.
It is. Who composed the quintet in A, nicknamed the Trout, which was inspired by a holiday at Steyr in Upper Austria in 1819?
Haydn.
Schubert. Which famous public school has the motto Plus est en vous, which roughly translates as there is more in you than you think?
Harrow.
Gordonston. Which St Helens-born comedian played the hapless Charlie in Paul Whitehouse's comedy series Happiness?
Johnny Vaughan.
Johnny Vegas. Which metallic element, the lightest known metal, derives its name from the Greek word for stone?
Pass.
Which British airport is built partly on the site of the racecourse which staged the Grand National during World War I?
Gatwick.
Yes. The Turkish city of Izmir was known by what name until the I'll finish it. Was known by what name until the 1920s?
Pass.
It was Smyrna, I can tell you that now, and you had two other passes. The lightest metallic element is lithium, and the film that won the Oscar was The Return of the King, or Lord of the Rings, if you prefer. So you had 10 points. You now have, David Green, 17 points. And now Peter Biddlecombe. So, 12 points with your knowledge of the instruments of the Symphony Orchestra. Now, there's an orchestra in Germany, isn't there, whose players are saying, the string players are saying, they should be paid more money than the brass because they play more notes.
They do play more notes, that's undeniable, but there is, for anyone in the wind part or percussion part of the orchestra, has individual responsibility that most of the string players don't have. And so, you know, to be really harsh, if you don't like it, then you either don't play the fiddle or you play the fiddle well enough to be the leader of the orchestra, who probably gets the most money.
Right, you had 12 points. It's a close race at this point. Only 2 points between you and the leader. Let's try general knowledge now. 2 minutes. What is the name of the Indian water carrier celebrated in a poem by Rudyard Kipling?
Pass.
Francis Partridge, who died in February 2004, aged 103, was the last survivor of which literary group of the early 20th century?
The Bloomsbury Group?
Yes. Ulundi has been a capital of which South African province since 1995?
Pass.
Museums devoted to the work of which artist can be visited at St. Petersburg in Florida, in Figueras in Spain, where he was born in 1904?
Pass.
Whose face appeared on the First World War recruitment poster which bore the legend, "Your country needs you"?
Kitchener.
Yes. Barranquilla, Medellin and Cali are among the principal cities of which South American country?
Argentina.
Colombia. In Wuthering Heights, what was the name of the boy brought from Liverpool by Mr. Earnshaw and brought up as one of his own children?
Pass.
In the Harvard classification of stars based on the spectrum of the light they emit, the letter O denotes the hottest blue stars. Which letter denotes the coolest red stars?
R.
M. Which former England cricket captain made his first-class debut for Leicestershire in 1975 at the age of 18?
Pass.
Which French underwater explorer of television fame commanded the oceanic research ship Calypso?
Jacques Cousteau.
Yes. Which poet and preacher became Dean of St. Paul's in 1621, a position he held until his death 10 years later?
Dean Ing.
Done. Which celebrated Renaissance figure worked as court painter and military engineer to the Duke of Milan from 1482 to 99?
Leonardo da Vinci.
Yes. Which volcano in the Sunda Strait between Java and Sumatra erupted in 1883, the effects being felt thousands of miles away?
Krakatoa.
Yes. Which actress played the writer Iris Murdoch as a young woman in the film Iris? Take a guess at it.
I can see her. I can't think of her name.
I'll have to give it to you then, in that case.
Yeah.
Yep. It was Kate Winslet.
Yes.
That was one of your passes. Your other passes, the former England cricket captain was David Gower. In Wuthering Heights, it was Heathcliff. It was Salvador Dali, the artist in question. And Ulundi has been a capital of KwaZulu-Natal since 95. And the name of the Indian water carrier was Gunga Din. 6 passes in total. You had 12 points in the first round. You now have 17 points. And now Frank Potter, if he'd join us. And I have to confess to getting you wrong. I said earlier, Second World War, massive subject, impossible to know about all of it. You appear to, 14 points. Why such a huge... Why don't you take a bit of the Second World War and say, I will do that?
Because I thought the questions would be easier.
Well, clearly they were, but there is an awful lot to know about the Second World War.
Well, there's a lot written about it, and a lot of it is very well written, and there was something that I thought I'd enjoy reading about again.
You did very well anyway. 14 points. Let's see how you do with general knowledge. 2 minutes. Which showcase for scientific invention was first shown on BBC television in July 1965 with Raymond Baxter as presenter?
Tomorrow's World.
Yes. Which literary hero tilted at windmills, mistaking them for giants?
Don Quixote.
Yes. Which Australian city lies on the Yarra River, close to where it enters Port Phillip Bay?
Melbourne.
Yes. What did the assassinated American President Abraham Lincoln once say was stronger than the bullet?
The pen.
The ballot. Beryl Bainbridge's 2001 novel, According to Queenie, tells of the relationship between which 18th century literary figure and Mrs. Hester Thrale through the eyes of her daughter?
Dr. Johnson.
Yes. In which opera by Verdi does Leonora, lady-in-waiting to the Queen of Aragon, fall in love with Manrico the Troubadour?
Trovatore.
Yes. Which small wading bird derives its name from the way it flicks over pebbles and shells along the shoreline to expose the creatures underneath?
Oyster catcher.
Turnstone. In the Church of England, what name is used for the head of a cathedral chapter and, in academic circles, for the head of a university faculty or department?
Dean.
Yes. Which poet who worked as an exciseman lived in Dumfries from 1791 till his death in 1796 and is buried there?
Robbie Burns.
Yes. Who composed the Oscar-winning music for the 1981 film Chariots of Fire?
Vangelis.
Yes. Anne of Austria was regent of France from 1643 during the opening years of the reign of which king who was her young son?
Pass.
Which element represented by the symbol Si is used as a semiconductor in transistors?
Silicon.
Yes. In Greek mythology, who was the muse of history?
Pass.
Which 18th century American scientist and statesman invented bifocal spectacles?
Jefferson.
Franklin. What was the name of the airship which exploded in a ball of fire as it came into land at Lakehurst, New Jersey in May 1937?
Hindenburg.
Yes. Which pioneering astronaut was a pilot in the Korean War? I've started, so I shall finish. And in the 1970s became professor of aerospace engineering at Cincinnati University?
John Glenn.
Neil Armstrong. You had 2 passes there. In Greek mythology, the muse of history was a Clio, and Anne of Austria was regent of France during the opening years of the reign of Louis XIV, the Sun King. So, 2 passes, you had 14 points, you have 24 points. So, at the end of the general knowledge round, the end of the contest, let's have a look at the scores. In joint third place with 17 points are Peter Biddlecombe and David Green. In second place with 20 points, Mary Willmot. In first place with 24 points, Frank Potter. Which means, of course, that Frank Potter goes through to the next round and moves a step closer to becoming our Mastermind champion, perhaps. Congratulations to him. Please join us next time for more Masterminds. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.
Revealing the fascinating and complicated past of a war-torn country, Dan Snow's History of Syria is tonight at 9. Next today on BBC Two, heading to Somerset, it's Britain's Heritage Heroes.